Vidya, first of all, I just want to warmly welcome you on Filme Shilmy. I think it's an absolute delight to be speaking with you. Congratulations on Mismatched.
Thank you very, very much.
And in fact, I was going to say, Vidya, it's been quite a busy period for you. Mismatched is your first Netflix series, and you were also recently seen in Flesh, I believe. So how does it feel to kind of make your digital presence in such diverse projects?
So the thing is, I think never in my career has this happened. I mean, normally I have one release in say 4 years, and this year it's been four releases in 1 year, and I think
Yeah.
I'm incredibly grateful for that. It's four diametrically different characters, whether you take Inside Ed season two or Kali season two or Flesh or now Mismatched. They're so different from each other, all the characters that I've played, and I'm just really grateful that I've got the opportunity to play such diverse characters.
Absolutely. And I also read somewhere actually when I was preparing for this conversation that you said Zenith in Mismatch is quite closest to what you are also like as a person. Why is that?
So yeah, in a way, I think both of us are kind of old soul. Also, I think as an actor, at least for me, there's always something that I bring out of my own self, and that's the soul of the character. So for this character, she's I think a lot of her thought processes are pretty much like me. Also, I think I remember by the not even by the middle of the shoot when we were all shooting, everybody around kept saying, "My goodness, we couldn't have got a better Zenith because you're like Zenith in real life." Because it's true, with the way the millennials talk and the language that they use and just the way they are, I just keep looking at them and wondering, oh my God, what is this? Have I come from another planet or something? I just don't get any of this at all. So it's like, goading them into saying, what do you think? What do you mean? What are you talking? What are you saying? It was great fun. So yeah, in that sense, me and Zenith kind of, I don't know where I finished and where Zenith began. But of course, I mean,
Right.
I'm not a small town girl. I'm not I don't dress like her, maybe I don't speak like her, maybe there is a lot of differences as well. So I had to just bring some of me and some of my imagination. It was just an amalgamation of all of that, and Zenith came alive.
Wow, absolutely. And you know what, to be honest, in the whole lingo of today's day and age, you are not the only one. Even I struggle as a 90s kid, even I struggle to keep up to date with what it means. I mean, that's why I thank God for Urban Dictionary. I think we should all be grateful for that actually,
Mm-hmm.
because we've got that. But I think coming back as well, speaking about Zenith and what she stands for in life and what you kind of, I guess, stand for in your characters too. Nowadays, there is more of an onus on education and empowering women everywhere now. In what way do you hope Zenith can inspire and motivate middle-aged people to make the most out of their life, especially when things haven't quite gone as planned?
So, this is what it is. This is what Zenith is about. So, you talk about her being everything else, but I think the one thing that I really took back um, from this character is the strength and the guts to actually dream about her dream, nurture her dream from God alone knows when, because as the way we drawn the character, she was somebody who probably was really good at this whole apps and computers, so to say, or whatever, all that sort of a world, Java, if you may,
Yeah.
and and then of course all those dreams were cut short because the parents may have said that okay, marriage is it, dude, and that's what we do.
Hmm.
And then because of the marriage and the husband and the in-laws in the house, women normally just sort of let their real dreams fly away. Life just happens and you just sort of never go back thinking, I wish I could have done this too. But
Yeah.
that there's a line where she says in the show where she says, when my husband passed away, the first thought that ran through my head was that, well, he's finally found his freedom, and so have I. It, and I think that was such an impactful uh, line for in my head when I read it. I was like, that sense of freedom which is taken away from you at whichever age you might be, and you just mold yourself and you become this person that the world wants you to become. And then
Mm.
secondly, if you do find that freedom again in your life, do you have the strength and the guts to actually follow your dream? Do you have the guts as a 30, 40-year-old, 50-year-old to go back to school or college and say, I'm going to do something new with my life, and I'm going to now shape my life the way I want to. All these years I've lived for everybody else. Let's just take this time and try and see how I can live for myself. Yet,
Mm.
keeping your core alive, keeping your soul intact.
Mm.
So I think that was something
Right.
really beautiful about Zina.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that was so well said as well. I hope a lot of people can sort of draw inspiration, not even just middle-aged people, but I think anyone of any age can use that as a positive aspect as well within our lives. But I find it very fascinating, Vidya, because you've actually played a lot of mature characters in your career. Do you think that's something you've consciously looked out for, or has it just come to you?
No, I think you should just tell casting directors to actually cast me in something young and fun as well. Because I think I'll be really good at it. Like I keep saying, I want to do some sort of a comic character would be like my calling, because I do, if I may say so myself, I do have great comic timing and I'm always making everybody laugh. And I could manage a few laughs in Mismatched as well.
Yes,
But I
absolutely. Yeah.
really, really want to do something that is like out of the box maybe and funny maybe, or yeah, nothing has been planned. I think it's all a part of the bigger plan, whatever was planned for me by my gods, I would say. But yeah, I mean, I just try and pick what is the best out of the stuff that I get, where I can put something out that is slightly different from what I've done before. But you are right. I've been offered only mature characters, so then I have to pick out of those. Yeah.
Hmm. Absolutely. And you know what? I'm really glad that we're speaking about this because I feel like, again, like you mentioned as well, I also do think that even though they are mature characters, they are very much paying a tribute to the human spirit and grit and determination aspect of those characters too. But it's the fact that Indian cinema, even now, middle-aged female actors are still bracketed into doing like maternal or supporting characters as soon as they pass a certain age, whereas they carry on being the Casanovas and romancing the young actresses, and it's completely fine, and people are supposed to digest it okay. But in what way do you think the stereotype can change, Vidya?
I think it's going to take a little time. I would think that it has probably started changing already. In fact, I did get a few messages saying finally they're writing good stuff for women uh, who are not in their 20s anymore. Finally. And or teens or 20s. And I was like, yay, yeah, kudos to somebody like Ghazal who's written this character, and she created the character. It wasn't really there in the book already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so really, really thanks and kudos to them to actually write somebody like that and then cast somebody like me as well. So, but I think it is kind of changing, I would say. And yes, the mainstream, the young will always have a lot to do, I would think. But I mean, I don't know. I think it's a great time, and I don't really look at the. I would rather look at a glass half full always. So I would just say that
Mm,
I'm just really happy in this space of picking characters that are actually very interesting for me to do because they're so different from each other. And I'm really hoping that more of it opens out as the minds of people kind of start opening slightly, and we see the film industry and the kind of work and the kind of scripts writing content that is coming around is really wasn't really there about 5 years ago or before that.
mm,
There's a lot of really good
yeah.
stuff that is coming around, which means yeah, there will be. I'm always positive, and I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that there's a lot more of this really cool stuff that will come my way as well.
Oh, well, it's good to see someone being positive, I think, for once, when I sort of speak about this question, because usually we have a very interesting debate.
Yeah, I mean, that's what my Instagram page is. So, any which ways, if
Yeah.
you're into the why is this and why is that, like a lot of people comments that you should be doing the leading parts, and your director should be casting you in like, bigger parts, and you should be playing the
Mm.
leading lady and all that. And I was like, that is great, and I hope your message reaches the directors as well. But for now, I'm just really grateful for what's already coming my way. And instead of looking at it saying, oh, why am I not getting this? I would rather look at, oh my God, I'm so happy that I've actually got this and I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important to sort of understand that whatever you've got, it's up to you whether you look at it in a way that can make you beam and make you amazingly happy, or the other way to look at it and say and crib and cry and beat your breast and say, why is this happening to me? So, you just
Yeah.
choose. I
No,
choose.
but I think it's so imperative to have that sort of understanding, especially in today's climate as well. Given the fact that we're living literally amidst negativity, to have that positive mind is just so
That's
well.
where my yoga and meditation background comes into play. That's why I'm a
Yes, absolutely. We'll be speaking about that actually, just later on. But I believe so. Before you became an actor, I believe you were a model. Before you obviously pursued acting. So since you belong to quite an academically inclined family, so to speak, how supportive were they towards your decision of pursuing a glitzy and glamorous career?
I don't know. I think my parents are literally the best in the world because they have never ever said no to anything that we really wanted to do, especially in terms of our careers and those things. All of us, yes, you're right. My family is all about doctors and engineers and MBAs, and I mean, yes, all of finance and all of that. My sisters are both. Oh, all of them are these great positions, and they're doing exceedingly well. Touch wood. And here I am. I said, "Oh, I want to be a flight attendant." Okay, now I'm done with that, but I'm getting movie offers and I'm getting modeling offers. So I want to do that. And I just sort of had to sit my parents down and say, you know what, I'm getting it on its own today, and I don't want to say no to it because tomorrow, if 10 years hence, I would think that I wish I had done that. It would have been a regret, and I don't want that. I want to just explore and see how it works. Thankfully, my mother used to do Marathi theater when she was younger, and she was really quite something. That's where my dad saw her, I think, and
Hmm.
it all started. So yeah, so they never said no really to anything. They raised all three of us, all three girls, with an understanding of being independent in every way, socially, financially, emotionally, as strong, independent women. And I think I just owe everything to them. I
Hmm.
mean, I've taken chances. I've left my cushy, nice job to become, an actress where there is no security whatsoever. And it's not too bad. I mean, if you follow your dream and if you work at it every day, bit by bit by bit, you will achieve. And I think you need to find reasons to be proud of yourself. And when I see pride in my parents' eyes, I mean, I know I've done something right. So I may not be the biggest star or the biggest success ever in Bollywood and all of that, but it really doesn't matter. I just feel like, that's my little success story is told by my parents to their family, and just between us
Yeah.
sisters, it's just lovely to know
It's
that.
interesting you said this actually, because I spoke with Rohit as well, and even he said success is such a broad term and it's so subjective, because anything can be success. Waking up is a success the next day, for that matter. So I can completely understand that perspective as well. But I think that aside, Chak India really broke the glass ceiling for you, and I think it really made us more aware of you as an actor as well, because obviously you begun, I believe, in 2003 in Bollywood, but I think that film really gave you that commercial appeal and more mainstream appeal as well. But besides career prospects, what else changed for you from doing the film?
um I don't know. I think um it's just that I really didn't think one film could do this to your life or your career in because like I always say, today's news is tomorrow's trash, right? And with so much stuff, so many films coming around, nobody even remembers the film that came last year or the year before that, and it's now been almost a dozen years, and people are still
Hmm.
talking about Chak De. Every time it comes on TV, I get messages still saying that, oh God, what a film, and you were so good in it. And Vidya Sharma India was like, I don't even know where to begin. But I think it inherently, I just feel like it made me just more humble than ever, because I feel like I must have done something right in this life or my past life to have had a project like this, a success like that, and to be paired with Mr. Shah Rukh Khan, to be a part of a Yashraj film, to be a part of a film that is loved across all borders, ages, everything, by everybody alike. Is was and it gave me a family of girls, my friends who were still so close to me. So I think, I don't know, it just made me really humble, and I'm just incredibly grateful for that process and for that experience of Chankpet. Really.
And it's interesting you say that as well, because a lot of actresses, they kind of aspire as well to work in a Yash Raj films production or in a Yash Chopra films. I mean, back in the day when he was alive as well. And then there was also that whole dream of working with Shah Rukh Khan. So you've kind of had that, but in a very different way. I mean, it might not be the sort of sari waving kind of a way, and it's more of
No,
like
but
hitting
I
the
think
ball with
it's
a
probably even a better way, because I mean, how many actresses in the saris do
yeah,
you remember right now?
yeah,
I mean,
absolutely,
you've
absolutely.
got a body of work like, say, a Kajol or an Aishwarya Rai or something. It's a different space. But otherwise, not really. And the film was not just about, say, Shah Rukh and his beautiful heroine. The film was about the country and the pride, and it felt like, I mean, I kept wondering, dude, guys, this is not real. This is just a film. I'm holding the, yes, but when I was holding the cup in my hand, I swear I got goosebumps. It was mad. That energy was mad that evening. But this was something that sort of came around and came alive in terms of people coming and telling me, you won the cup for India. You were like India's shining beacon. And I'm just thinking, as if, oh my God, this happens when it's a movie. I wonder what really happens when
Mhm.
guys really bring the World Cup home. I was like, those guys are real. We just like acted. But it was just another level of, um, yeah. I can't even like get my head around it. Not even now after so many years.
Don't worry, I can completely understand that. But I think it's also interesting because after you play or sort of work in such an iconic role, where even now people still remember you as the Chak De girl. Do you think there was always that shadow on you of you being Vidya Sharma from Chak De? And do you think it was kind of like very difficult for you to shrug off afterwards as well?
No, I think, you know what? I mean, now I can say this, once the web world sort of came around. I think the first job that I got was an Inside Edge season 2, which is also cricket,
Yes. Mm.
and I played the coach of Haryana Hurricanes. So, which means that, yes, I think because I was a part of Chak De, I kind of suited that character a lot to just be what I would do. Maybe, from a player, I'd become a coach in like 10 years or whatever. So yeah, that would have been the ideal progression. But apart from that, I would say, whether it's Kali, whether it's Flesh, or even Mismatched, I think I've broken the mold myself, because if you look at Zenith, she's nothing like Vidya Sharma India. She's nothing like Coach Tisha from Tisha Chopra from um, Inside Edge, or even the characters that I play in Flesh, or
Mm.
in Flesh I play an NRI who's completely different, and who's
Yeah.
really like, she knows her shit, and of course the stuff that she goes through, again, a strong resilient woman, but yeah, completely different, having problems with her husband, and then of course daughter gets kidnapped, and all of that goes, everything goes haywire, all the plans in life go haywire. But
Mm.
also Kali was, a badass police officer, and it's, um, I mean, for me to be even thinking of playing that, I had to ask my director twice, thinking, "Are you sure I want to play this? Is nothing about me that I feel I can be so badass." But then, of course, I'm sure there is, which is where it came out from. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. No, but I think, yeah, I think that does make a lot of sense as well. But I think I really am fascinated because, in addition to acting, I see you're very passionate and into Ayurveda, natural healing, and yoga. I mean, I saw your Instagram page, and it was quite amazing to kind of see that, to be honest. And it's quite interesting because even Juhi Chawla ma'am, is also very much into Ayurveda and natural healing. So I'm really glad to kind of see that being endorsed a lot by public figures, because I think it's actually really, really important given the whole COVID situation. But how have these aspects in particular helped you throughout this whole pandemic period?
So I think I've been a part of, I mean, I've been teaching yoga for over 6 years now. I've been practicing myself for about, over about 15, 12 to 15 years now. So it is a part of my life. It's just not something that I do. It's just become, I mean, the person that I am today, thankfully, is only because of that. A lot of people ask me, how do you look so young? How do you, what is with this positive attitude all the time? And I'm like, this is what it is. Because you realize that you can't be reacting to everything in your life. You just need to find your center and stay there. And that's the only way to live. But yes, I think the one thing that I wanted to do in the pandemic was that I needed to start my YouTube channel, because I did realize that there was so much fear and uncertainty and anxiety around, that it's very difficult to handle something like this, because I don't think any one of us has seen times like these in our lives.
Mm,
So that's what I did. I mean, I'm terrible at anything to do with technology, and I got some help saying that, okay, I need to know how to start a YouTube channel. That's that.
mm,
And yes, and I've got about 60 videos on my channel with lots of practices, yoga, meditation, and breathing and things like that. And I think that has been the one centering point for me. That has really been like I said, it's my life. And there is, I mean, even if yoga starts as, say, a form of exercise, or you want to lose some weight, or you want to become more flexible, if you stay focused, if there's dedication and discipline, you will not even know when that sudden switch or that shift will happen in your mind as well, because it is such a powerful practice. Similarly, with meditation, just 10 minutes when you wake up in the morning, if you can, or before you go to bed, if you can just come back to being mindful, let everything go, whatever has happened in the day, because there are so many external inputs that are coming in all the time from everywhere, that
mm.
if you can just sort of calm all that and go inside and go within for just those 10 minutes every day or 5 minutes every day, life just begins to look different. Your perspective changes, everything changes. And it's not about trying to control your thoughts, really, but it's about your thoughts not controlling you. Because then, when the mind is controlling you, you are nothing less than a monkey. That's that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's a very difficult thing as well to control our thoughts, because that's what we get in therapy too, because essentially the therapist can only do one thing. Essentially, you, the one as a person going through things, you're the one who has to kind of take action. So I can completely understand that. But I think coming back to you as an actor, Vidya, you've explored various styles of films. I mean, you've done a sports film, you've done a drama, you've done a thriller, you've done a horror film, and you've even done a crime film as well. Um, so, what have you learned from doing these sort of different genres, and what do you think will challenge you further next as an artist now?
What have I learned? I've learned that I can be a badass cop, and I'm really happy about it. And the lovely, endearing, innocent Zenith as well. And people loved her too. So I'm just over the moon and grateful for it. But I've just realized that I think it's such a phenomenal world, and I'm just again so grateful that I have been able to explore this, and I think I may have done something right, so that it's connected with everybody at different levels, and that is exactly what I want to continue doing. Explore what else it is that I have to offer, and I do hope and pray every day that I do get parts that I can I can really, do something with, something different, something nice, something maybe not so nice, and all of that. It's just a gamut of, um, I mean, all of us are made of negatives, positives, etc., etc., etc. So to sort of bear your soul out and put some of that in every character that you play is just amazing. I'm just like really fortunate to be doing this job.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm honestly so glad that we're getting to see more of you as well on the digital space. And I really loved Zenith in Mismatch. I think she was definitely my favorite character.
Thank
Um,
you.
so I really, really love the character. And I think we even deserve an origin story of Zenith, to be honest. I hope we get to see more of her if there is a season two, because season one ended like, kya ho raha hai? It kind of ended on that note. I think a lot of us are a
That's
bit
how
confused.
life happens. That's just it. Nothing. Remember that it's called mismatched. So whatever you were thinking, um, it didn't obviously match with what you were thinking. It should have been the end. But that's how life is. Yeah, it's abrupt. It throws you when you think everything is great. It just snaps you and says, "Oh, shut the hell up." And yeah, that's what it was. So let's see what happens ahead.
Yeah, well, 2020 is definitely a testament to that. I can completely vouch for that. But on that note, though, Vidya, I just want to say, wishing you all the very best for all upcoming projects and everything else that you pursue in life. And I'm just so, so glad that we could actually do this interview, because actually, I've always wanted to kind of speak with you. I've always loved you since Chak there, and I've always wanted to kind of know what it was like, to sort of have that experience of work on the film and, of course, the filmography that you've had. So thank you so much for taking time out to speak with me.
Thank you so much. Pleasure's mine.
Thank you. It's also my pleasure. Thank you very much. Take care.
Bye.